All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Today we are doing, this is one of our pit stop shows at the NRA Annual Meetings in Houston, Texas in 2025. And
2026.
Oh my God, I don't even know what day it is.
It's the end of the day, Charlie.
It's the end of the
both
day.
Beat.
We are both. All right. You look how I feel.
There you go.
Oh, so I have. I'm very excited to have Tom Gresham with me on the show today, and this is a bucket list item for me. I got to tell you, because it's one of these things that I'm like, when I started doing a show 10 years ago, I'm like, there are people I'm never going to have. And you were on that list because I'm like, oh, he's the guy I've seen on TV and seen everywhere. And, lo and behold, I'm walking by and you're like, hey, you want to do a show?
Let's do this
Yes,
thing.
I do.
Yeah, all we do, and you know the drill, all we're going to do is sit around and shoot the breeze. People say, I can't believe you can talk about guns for 3 hours. I say, are you kidding me? I talk about guns for 12 hours every single day.
Yeah.
It just happens that occasionally we turn on the radio, and we actually capture it, right?
Right.
So that's it.
How you legit, this is, your son's the third generation in this biz.
Right.
Your father was Gresham.
Right.
And he wrote in the 50s?
Oh, yeah, 50s, 60s. I wrote for all the big magazines that we called them the big three back then. Outdoor Life, Field and Stream, and Sports Afield. He was the shooting editor for Sports Afield for 27 years. And then he got into doing TV on the American Sportsman TV show on ABC. So, he was taking Bing Crosby out hunting.
Oh, my gosh.
And just this amazing number of celebrities. And then he made a beer commercial. And
made a beer commercial.
Yeah, you don't know about the beer commercials.
I do not.
Oh, are you in for some fun?
Oh, I can't wait.
So, way back when Miller introduced the Miller Lite, and they came up with this campaign called Taste Great, Less Filling.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. And they had these jocks on there. Well, Dad was one of those people.
Oh, my gosh.
So he made a whole bunch of commercials, like for 12 years with Miller Lite. And he used to say, he says, I've written, 7 books and 5 million words in magazine articles. And everybody says, oh, yeah, you're the beer guy. He says, yeah, well, sure, he's the beer guy because, they ran these commercials everywhere. So I grew up in that atmosphere of guns and shooting and hunting. And then I was in front of the camera as a kid. And then by the time I was 13, I was taking pictures for his articles.
Wow.
So I got into all this really through the photography. Then ended up editing a bunch of magazines, writing for magazines, and went all over the country. I was at the NRA for several years. Mm-hmm. Alaska Magazine, I edited that. And then started doing TV. And then Alan Gottlieb from the Second Amendment Foundation, 31 years ago, at SHOT Show, we're having a conversation at a cocktail party. He says, have you ever think about doing radio? I said, no, I've never done radio. I've done TV. He said, you ought to do radio. I said, well, that's a weird idea. 6 weeks later, I'm on the air, and I said, well, I'll try it for 6 or 7 weeks. We'll see how it goes.
Right.
31 years later, we're still doing it.
Still doing it. Unbelievable. I found this out a couple of years ago that Alan, not only was he responsible for getting your radio career going, he was also responsible for getting Art Bell going.
Yes. Alan, actually, people don't know, was a real fixture in the radio world. He owned a number of radio stations. I know.
This boggles my mind. This really completely boggles my mind.
He had a publishing company. He had a lot of different businesses. He was doing a lot of things in addition to his Second Amendment activism.
Yeah.
And, a brilliant guy,
Oh, my gosh.
Let's see, major in nuclear science, University of Tennessee.
Yeah.
So, one of those sneaky smart guys that you'll never know.
You would never know how smart he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I got to, so weird bucket list items, right? One of my bucket list items was to interview Massad Ayoob.
Right.
And I had a chance to interview him, and so I do a show driving in the car, and I got lost. We're in Florida, and I'm like, I don't know how to get back to the campground.
I'm just driving now.
Right? And I'm lost, and I'm like, Massad Ayoob could kill me if he figures this out. And I'm like, he's a smart man. He probably knows. Right. And so I ended up making a couple of U-turns, and we got back on track, and we're almost back to the campgrounds. And I said, well, we don't have to call your wife, Gail, and tell her that that we got lost. And he says, this is the first time that an Arab has been kidnapped. and I'm like, this is absolute
He's a funny
gold.
guy.
Absolute gold.
Yeah, one of his best lines, and I've been doing work with Massad for many, many years, done a lot of TV with him and all. And he talks about people who try to rob a concealed carry holder and ended up getting shot. He says, that is an acute failure in the victim selection process. So, oh, I love that line. I will steal that one all day long.
I heard him on Gun Owners Radio a while back, and I'm going to wait for you to have your drink before I.
Go ahead.
The line he used is, that is a bunch of poultry feces.
I love that.
Dude, that is great. That is absolutely fabulous.
No, he's great. And he's got that voice that sounds like it's coming from the bottom of a 50-foot well. It's great voice. He ought to be doing voiceover work somewhere.
He totally should. Totally.
But,
so how, like, after the radio show, so you're back to you've been doing TV for a long time. Your son's involved.
Well, yeah. Okay. So I started the radio show 31 years ago called Gun Talk Radio, or Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, and did that for a number of years, still doing it. And then from that, we spun up doing video because I'd been creating and producing TV shows for other people. I created the first TV show about personal defense with a gun. And I did a number of shows I created and hosted for Guns and Ammo and all those. And I said, if I'm going to do it for other people, I could do them for us. So I went out and bought a couple of video cameras and learned how to use them. And it's like, might as well. Why don't you just do it?
Yeah.
That's always been our attitude. Is in our family, our motto is always say yes. If somebody asks you if you can do something, say yes, even if you've never done it.
Right.
You're smart. Go out and figure out how to do it.
Yeah, totally.
And you can learn a lot of stuff doing that.
It's about getting yourself out of your comfort zone, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
My background is in education. I got a teaching degree to be a music teacher, and I've been doing that for 30 years. 10 years ago, I had this idea to interview people in the car and talk about guns because I was a gun instructor and gun guy and all that kind of stuff. And that's where I had the idea for writing Shotgun with Charlie. And I had 2 GoPro cameras. I had no idea how to edit video. I didn't know how to upload the video. I didn't know how to do a thing. And the first time I edited a video, I didn't know that you could put the videos on a timeline and synchronize them and just go. And what I do now is I synchronize everything by the audio and I bounce back and forth between the cameras, right? When I edit it. And I'm sure I'm not doing it the right way. There's probably a more efficient way to do it,
but you're getting it done.
This is how I know how to do it. So what I did with the first video is I took each video and cut each part of it and went back and forth from the 2 cameras.
Doing it the hard way.
Oh my God. It took 6 hours to do a 30-minute video.
And you're thinking, how do people do this? This is crazy.
Right. How does anyone get anything done?
Right.
It's absolutely nuts.
But the message I get out of that, it's a great story, but what I get out of that is back to always say yes. You didn't know how to do it. You just said, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's amazing what that kind of thinking will do for you and move you forward. I run into people all the time. I mean, look, I scuba dive, I fly airplanes, I hunt all over the world, I do this crazy radio thing. And people will say, I've always wanted to fly. I've always wanted to. And I said, look, if you've always wanted to do it, why aren't you doing it? Well, there's always a lot of reasons why not. And there is an unlimited supply of people who will tell you why not. People who will say no. But if you say, yes, I'm going to go chase this, there's a really good chance you can pull it off.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Absolutely. There are people, I've noticed, there are people that like to push the limit and people that don't like to push the limit. And the people that don't push the limit are the ones that stay at the status quo and,
Well, I've been a freelance magazine writer for a long time. And my wife tells the story when we got engaged and she went and told her parents and they said, well, what does he do? What's he going to do? She said, well, he's going to be a freelance writer. And she said, in their minds, what they heard was no steady paycheck. They were right. And it wasn't a steady paycheck. And I was okay with that. Mm-hmm. It's like my son, Ryan, who now runs the entire Gun Talk operation deal. And he came out of college and he became a commission salesperson, 100% commission.
Wow.
No base, no anything.
Nothing.
I said, how do you like that? He says, it's the only job I know of where you can give yourself a raise. That's positive thinking there.
That really is.
So, it's like that whole deal. Back to Gun Talk, and now it's TV shows and a huge facility down in Louisiana where we have content creation center, TV studios, classrooms, edit suites, a bunch of editors there, videographers, indoor shoot house, outdoor shooting ranges, A lot of the companies here on the floor at the NRA actually do their media introductions there. When they bring out a new product, they come there and we help them introduce those. And all of that is done because somewhere down the line I said, yeah, I'll try radio. And then it just spun up and we kept saying, well, what if we decided to do video online? We had the first online video site for guns. Mm-hmm. What if we decided to do a TV show about self-defense with guns and put people in situations where they get attacked? We do that. And what if it's like, what if?
Yeah.
And, not everything worked out. Sometimes you go, well, that didn't really work out so well. Okay, but let's go do something else. So There you go. I'm looking over your shoulder here. I'm watching Marty Daniel walk by from Daniel Defense.
Oh my gosh. That is pretty cool.
How are you, sir? Back home.
Hi.
We're actually recording right now, so we'll do that. All right. So
you never know who you're going to meet.
That's one of the things that's great about here is anybody can walk around and meet anybody.
Right.
It might be Steve Hornady. It might be Ted Nugent. It might be, you just don't know who's walking around, and you walk right up to them and say hi, and you're going to spend the next 20 minutes just swapping stories.
Yeah.
Don't you love this?
I absolutely love it. This is the greatest.
So are you having fun here?
I'm having an awesome time. I've been here, been in here at the Second Amendment, Voices of the Second Amendment area all day. I did 4 hours of shows. I was a guest on one show. I did a radio show back in the central Massachusetts, and then I was walking by, and you're like, "Hey, let's do it." I'm like,
"You see what I just did, don't you? Now I'm interviewing you."
I know this isn't right.
I can't help it.
Oh man, this is great, man. Coming to these the gun folks. This is one of the things that I wanted to do with my show. I want people. So I interview people in the car, and it's a good time to really just let people let their guard down. It's different than doing radio. It's different than calling in and zooming in and all that sort of stuff. And I have so many people say to me, they're like, okay, so you got 3 cameras on the car window. Where should I look? Look wherever you want. I'm paying attention to traffic. Right.
I'm
making sure
trust
we're not
me,
in a
I'm
car
not looking
accident.
at cameras here.
Right.
All right. We're going to keep us from crashing. Okay.
Exactly. And then once things kind of, once they get past that, okay, well, let's just, we're having a conversation. It's being videotaped. Then they just forget it's being videotaped and we have a conversation. And
and that's it. And to that point, I was thinking about all the people walking around here and talking. There is a commonality here, or a camaraderie, or a family feeling that's from a shared culture and shared values. And I don't care who you walk up to, literally you could just say, that person. Pick one out around and walk up and say, hi. And you're off to the races, and you're going to have an interesting conversation. Where are you from? Why are you here?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What kind of guns do you like to shoot?
What do you like to shoot? Yeah.
And it's like, it just doesn't matter. And I don't care if they're old or young or woman or female or whatever color they are. They're all part of this culture, this community. And it's a wonderful thing. It's a great place. I would encourage anybody, they have this every year and they move it around the country. Try to get to the NRA show. Now we call it the NRA show. It's the NRA Annual Meetings.
Right.
But for a lot of us, it's more about this exhibit hall, which is kind of like a miniature SHOT Show, but you get to go to this one.
It's right. And you can come home with stuff.
You can't. Not guns.
Not guns. Stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. You can buy knives and backpacks and clothes.
And lots of shirts. Lots of shirts.
Lots of hats.
Yeah, that's right. So they're everywhere. And yes, you can come away with stuff. And there's actually, let me think, there's one place here where you actually can order guns. You can go find the gun in the booth, go over to Gallery of Guns booth here, place the order. It will go to your local FFL. And by the time you get home, probably that gun is there waiting for you. And you can't take it from here, but it's got to go to the SFL.
Yeah.
So that's new. This is the first time that's happened here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is very cool. Gallery Guns has been around for a long time.
Yeah,
too.
they have. They're part of Davidson's. It's a big distributor, wholesaler out in Prescott, Arizona.
They were around before Gun Broker and Guns America.
Oh, yeah. They were before all of that.
Yeah.
Well, they've had distributors, Sports South, Lipsy's, Davidson's are the big ones now. There were a dozen or two more some years ago. And for most gun stores, they buy their guns from a wholesaler, not directly from the gun maker. So what that does is it lets your local gun store have a massive warehouse full of guns that they can't afford to have in inventory. And they can usually get those guns at the local gun store in 2 days. from the wholesaler. So they place an order, it gets shipped out, and it's there. So that's a very valuable part of the industry that's not as well known.
Okay.
The Lipsies and the Gallery of Guns guys. And they're to the point now where they're actually doing exclusive guns. They go to Ruger and say, hey, what if we made this gun like this with this barrel length and something a little bit different? And it's not offered anywhere else. And it's probably not stocked at your gun store, but you can go on their websites and find it and order it, and it'll go to your local gun store. So that's
cool.
kind of fun.
That is cool. You have so much stuff, man. You've got to have hunting stories from all around the world. All sorts of
hunting,
great stuff.
shooting, whatever. Part of it is just hanging around long enough. I've been doing this a long time.
Right.
And it's still just as much fun as it ever has been. We get to talk to interesting people. We get crazy stories. I got a story.
Let's hear it.
You never know who's going to call. And you never know what they're going to say. It's because I do a live show with call-ins. This lady called in. Her name was Bree. I will never, ever forget her. And we're talking. She said, well, I got a gun, for self-defense and all. And we're having that conversation. And I said, okay, well, thanks very much. I'm kind of working my way to getting off the call. And she says, yeah, she says, if I hadn't had a gun, I wouldn't be alive now, and neither would my daughter. I said, whoa. Back the truck up. Said,
you got to stay through the break.
Yeah, exactly. We're staying for the break. Come back. I said, all right, so what are you talking about? Come back. She said, well, I had an abusive husband. I said, well, what are we talking about? She says, yeah, we're not talking about bruises. We're talking broken bones.
Wow.
She said, he would put me in the hospital.
Damn.
And I said, okay. She said, so I was talking to a police officer. And he said, we can't really do anything unless we're there when it's happening. And she said, well, what do I do? He says, you need to get an equalizer. She says, what do you mean? He says, you need to get a gun, lady. She says, well, okay. So she said, I got a gun. And then one night in the middle of the night, she took her daughter and they moved out of town. They left. They boogied, which was smart.
Of course.
He found them.
Oh.
And in the middle of the night, he's beating on the door and kicking on the door. And she's saying, this was before 911. This is quite a while ago. And she's yelling, I've got a gun. Don't come in. I've got a gun. Don't come in. He kicks in the door. She said, he kicked in the door and I started shooting. And she shot and shot and shot. She never hit him. And she said, and the last time I saw him, he was going across the front yard on all fours. And she said, and we never saw him again.
Wow.
So that is the story of why we own guns. It's not hunting. It's not recreation. It's to save lives and to protect ourselves. And the story of Bree is the story of the hope and the basically staying alive aspect of having a gun for self-defense when nothing else works for you. And I have always loved that story. And Bree, I don't know where you are, and I hope you're doing well, but thanks for sharing that, because that's pretty gutsy to even share that story.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I can't even fathom that.
So,
it's the anti-gun folks, the non-gun. So I classify people in three ways. We have the pro-gun folks, the non-gun folks, and the anti-gun folks.
Right.
And the anti-gun folks want to, give us the whole earful of the gun. You can't hunt with an AR. You can't. Of course, they say you can hunt hogs with ARs, and
you can hunt anything with ARs.
Yeah, I mean, right. If you get like an AR-10 or something, that'll totally help take down some big game. But it's not made for that. It's made for, I know the NRA has, I'm an instructor, and the NRA's got the 6 reasons why people own guns: for personal protection, competitive shooting, recreational shooting, hunting, collecting, and because it's our constitutional right. And I say it's for personal protection and to overthrow the government, right? We have a constitution.
And then there are some other things, but yes.
Yeah.
Number one, in every survey ever done, it's always personal protection. It's the number one reason people own guns.
Yeah. Absolutely, and everyone ought to do it. I had a class a couple weekends ago with, I think 3 weekends ago. I had 2 women that were over in their mid 60s or older that are getting their carry permits for the first time.
Good for them.
Yeah,
a lot of women are figuring out. They got tired of men patting them on the head and say, "There, little lady, don't you worry about that. We'll send somebody." No, they're not going to send somebody, and if they do send somebody, it's going to be too late. Mm-hmm. You are your own first responder. If you choose not to be a responder, then you will be simply the victim. It's the only role that's left available to you. Yep. There are only a couple of roles here. You can be a victim or you can be a first responder and take care of yourself. That's all you got. And people should be reminded, by the way, according to several court decisions, The police have no legal duty to protect you.
Yeah.
But people go, what? I said, no. You can call them and say, there's a man kicking in the door right now, and he says he's going to kill me after he rapes me. And they have no legal duty to send anybody to you. They may not. They may get there in time. They probably won't.
Yep.
It's probably going to be over before they roll up.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it's generally over in 30 seconds, whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
And a fast police time is what? 5 minutes response time?
14 minutes, I think, is
14 minutes is.
I tell people let's listen to Stairway to Heaven 2 times.
People tell me, well, the police, they'll be here in 5 minutes. I said, okay, it's okay with you if I beat on you with a crowbar for 5 minutes, right?
Right.
On your head. Well, no, that's what we're talking about.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, oh, by the way, how about they're going to grab your 6-year-old girl and throw her in a van and take her away? You'll never see her again.
Right. But the cops will be here in 5 minutes.
The cops will be here in 5 minutes. Great. And you can tell them what the van looked like. Great. How about shoot the sorry SOB? That's a really good solution to a lot of this stuff.
It's absolutely. I like to tell folks that the police cars used to say to serve and protect, but it's really to clean up and write a report is what it is.
Pretty much what it is. And look, I get it. Police have a hard job. I understand it. But any cop who has been on the job for a while will tell you the exact same thing that we're telling you right now, which is we're not going to be there to protect you.
Yeah. Absolutely. It can't be everywhere. What's the old joke? I carry a gun because a cop is too heavy?
Yep, there you go. Or I like the one that says, call for a pizza and call for a cop. See who shows up first.
That's a good one, too. Oh, man. All right. Well, listen, I think we need to wrap things up here because you got some more stuff you need to get going. And it's been a full day. And it's nice to get a bite and a drink.
It is. And it's fun to... All we're doing is talking guns, and when we stop doing this, guess what we're going to do? We're going to go talk guns.
Right, we're going to talk guns over dinner.
Or somewhere else, right? Exactly. I would invite people to, I love what you're doing. They can check out Gun Talk. It's pretty easy to find any podcast, or we do live broadcasts as well, and we do videos, and just look for Gun Talk.
Gun Talk. Well, I'll put some links in the show description. Tom, this has been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
It's been wonderful. Thank you.
I'm completely honored. Thank you very much. All right. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, that was the one and only Tom Gresham here on Riding Shotgun with Charlie, live from the Voices of the Second Amendment Radio Row or Media Row here at the, where are we at? We're at the NRA Annual Meetings 2026. There we go. So thank you guys for tuning in and listening to the show. If you enjoyed the show, if you got something out of it, please share it with your friends because that is how we get the stagecoach across America. And we will talk to you guys again. Thanks a lot.